Hello and welcome to Alex's Model Kits. This is a video about the Bandai 1/12 scale R2-D2 and BB-8 model kit. Quite a good kit, and I think probably the best thing to do is to have a look at it now. This is the Bandai 1/12 scale kit of R2-D2 and BB-8. Bandai have been releasing the new Star Wars kits throughout 2015 to time with the release of The Force Awakens. This kit was released towards the end of 2015. On opening the box, you can see that the box is well packed, with several plastic bags each containing 1 or 2 sprues. The instructions are a mix of colour and black and white. One side is completely black and white, whilst the other side contains colour images. The instructions are written in Japanese only, but the diagrams are clear. The kits I've made so far are mainly Airfix, and I found the instruction layout for this kit to be slightly different, but a careful read-through makes everything clear. Interestingly, Bandai seem to give advice on how best to cut parts away from the sprue, though the text is only in Japanese. Making BB-8 first, the parts for this droid come on just 2 sprues. The plastic is excellent quality, with a natural gloss finish where needed. The parts are crisp and flash-free, with excellent fine detail. The Bandai kits have been notable for several reasons, one of which is the concept that no paint is required. All the parts are moulded in their finished colour. The first stage of the kit is to build the head of BB-8. I'd recommend paying careful attention to the sanding off of any remaining sprue gate, as all parts fit with a very close tolerance. Another feature of these Bandai kits is that they are all snap together kits. Certainly with this kit I had no need for any glue at all. With the head completed, it's time to move on to the ball body. 6 side discs are first constructed, along with a central core that all the body parts will fix onto. As you can see, with the parts in place for each disc, the attention to detail is excellent, as well as the standard of fit. Everything fits perfectly. Bandai have given some thought about making sure that the discs fit onto the core in the right position, and the moulding of the slot for each disc makes it impossible to get the wrong part in the wrong place. 3 parts are used to fill in the gaps around the discs, and then complete the ball body. BB-8 is now complete. There is an option with this kit to show a couple of attachments that were seen in the film for the droid. Here is the acetylene torch attachment. And here BB-8 has a drawer open where the data chip was hidden at the beginning of the film. Now on to R2-D2. As with BB-8, the first stage of building this kit is to construct the head. It seems to me that there are a couple of problems with Bandai's R2 model. The first for me is the colour of the head. In the films, R2-D2's head looks to be brushed aluminium, but the exact finish varies considerably. At the end of episode 4, R2 has been repaired and given a clean-up, and his head has a shine to it, though it's clearly not chrome. The same can be seen at the end of The Empire Strikes Back. A definite shine, but not a mirror finish. Throughout all the films, R2's head goes through several shades from clean to grimy. But there always seems to be some degree of shine that comes from the metal finish, which I don't think the model version replicates. For me, the model is less of an aluminium colour and more a dull grey. As mentioned before, care needs to be taken to file off any remaining sprue gate before fixing the parts together. Here you can see where I neglected to do this properly, and I've been left with a slightly annoying join. Dry fitting can be difficult, as the snap together element of this kit is so effective that when you press the parts together, it becomes very difficult to separate them without causing damage to the parts. I think the best advice is to pay careful attention to cleaning up each part, particularly around the sprue gate area. The other problem with this kit was a fit issue with the central leg. The central leg is designed to fit into the kit so that you can slide it up into the body or have it deployed down. The part is designed to slide within the kit. However, there seems to be a fit issue with the blue part, which seems to be too deep and creates a step which snags the central leg when sliding up. This was a big surprise, as the rest of the kit fits so well and this is such a big mismatch. The part was removed and refitted several times, but with no improvement or indication of where I might be going wrong. Eventually, with a little help, I sanded the blue area down to match the channel formed in the white area, and this allowed the leg to slide smoothly. Once this was done, the body was completed and the head added. I was particularly impressed with the hydraulic hoses for R2. They are small and potentially fiddly for a snap-together kit, but they fitted perfectly into their slots with a reassuring click. Once in place, they remained firmly in place, but didn't require a huge amount of effort to squeeze into their holes. Both droids come with options to show tool attachments. R2 has more, presumably because he's had more scenes to use tools. R2-D2 has the data interface, the circular saw, some pincers, the electric zapper, plus what looks like some sort of welder tool or possibly a lubricator. On the head there are radar sensors and the periscope. As mentioned earlier, R2-D2 can be posed with the leg up or down. BB-8 comes with just the acetylene torch and a data tray, but because of their respective positions on the ball, they are difficult to display at the same time. When joining the head to the body, there is a body part that makes up part of the main ball that allows you to place the head onto it. Or there is a stand that allows you to make a completely circular ball and then place the head over the top of the ball. I prefer the stand option as it allows you to pose BB-8 more effectively. When completed, BB-8 is just over 2 inches high, whilst R2-D2 is just over 3.5 inches high. So there we are. I hope you enjoyed that and I hope you found it useful. Overall, I'm very impressed with the kit. Apart from the two issues that I mentioned in the film with R2's central leg channel not working properly and the colour of the head, I don't quite know what happened with either of those problems. I can't believe that Bandai have made a mistake with their kit with that leg channel, bearing in mind that everything else fitted so well. It would be really odd to find that they've made this blunder with having that sort of that step between the blue and the white area on the leg channel. So I looked at that very carefully and I pulled the parts apart several times and joined them as carefully as I could, and simply couldn't get around that problem. So I don't quite understand what happened there, and I'd be interested if anyone else has made this kit. I would be interested to see what their experience was, particularly at that stage. With regards to R2's head, I plan to make this kit again. R2 does feature in another kit by Bandai, which I plan to get at some point, and when I do that kit I will do some more work. I won't just leave it at the plastic colour. I probably will do some work to make sure that the dome better reflects what I think happens in the films. So yes, apart from that, I think that the apart from those two issues, I think the kit overall is exceptionally good. I think it has great fitting parts for a snap together kit. I think it's very good indeed. I've done snap togethers in the past, a long time ago, and I tended to find that they were frustrating because either the gaps for which to snap together the parts were too tight and you ended up snapping pieces in half because you were pushing too hard, or the gaps were too loose and things just rattled or fell out. But this is almost perfect, I think, in my view, in how it all fits together. And I think it's also, for me, as for my kind of model making, I think there are generally two camps of model makers. There are those that really like the painting and the weathering side, and actually the construction element is a bit of a chore as far as they're concerned. The part they really like is bringing a model to life with paints and weathering. And there are other model makers who quite like the construction element of things, but they find that the painting and weathering is less rewarding. And I'm very firmly in that second camp. I really like the construction. I find it quite relaxing. It's quite therapeutic. It's quite it's a serial thing. It's something that you just follow the steps and read through the instructions and take your time, and eventually something good comes up. And then, as far as I'm concerned, it gets ruined afterwards when I slap the paint on. Obviously, that's just practice. Well, I hope that's just practice, and over time that will get better. But I really like this kit because it completely leaves out the part I'm not very good at, and it just focuses on the part that I really enjoy the most, which is the construction element of things. That said, I think a lot of Star Wars characters and vehicles, I think what makes them so good in the films is that they obviously are so worn and so battered, and I think perhaps Bandai can't easily reproduce that, and that people do or would want to then actually spend some time either painting them afresh or weathering, at the very least weathering them down, which I haven't done on either of these kits. So yeah, I think probably these kits give you as much as you want to take out of them. For me today, I just wanted to put them together. I think for other model makers, they will spend time, or they could spend time, really going to town at weathering down R2 and making them look quite worn and quite battered and used. So that's that really. So yes, I hope you enjoyed this. I have to say, I am surprised. I was always quite dubious about Bandai. When I first heard the news that Fine Molds, who were making Star Wars models a few years ago, and making some very excellent Star Wars models, you really can't find, or at least I've never seen, a bad review of a Fine Molds Star Wars kit. And when I heard that they had lost the franchise, and then when I heard that Bandai had got the franchise, I was disappointed. And I was slightly concerned, I have to say, because my experience of Bandai, having never made any of their kits, my experience of Bandai was that they focus very much on things like this, which are very much, I think, a sort of a manga, anime type style of kit. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to sit down and go, that's kid stuff, I'm not interested. Plenty of people like that, and as far as I'm concerned, each to their own. It's not my kind of thing. Doesn't mean to say it's rubbish, it's just not my kind of thing. And my big concern, I think, when I heard that Bandai had the license to do Star Wars, was that they were going to produce sort of an anime style of Star Wars characters and vehicles, and really I'd have no interest in that. So when the news came through, as you learn more and you hear more as plans develop, as the news came through that Bandai are actually making some quite good kits, I was quite encouraged. Having got this kit and made it, this is the first Bandai kit I've done. I have to say I'm really impressed, very, very impressed indeed. And I certainly plan to get several more of these kits over the next coming months or years. So I'd certainly recommend it. If you've not had a go at one of these kits, I would absolutely recommend getting one. They seem to be reasonably cheap. They are hard to come by because they are based largely, I think they're only a license to sell in the Far East. But there are internet stores that will sell these kits and will post them to you. And they're not vastly expensive. The kit I got was, I think, £17, including postage. So really, that's a pretty good deal in my view. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you feel inclined to go out and get one now. And Thank you for watching, and goodbye.